Welcome to the 5-Year-Old and Me Show. I'm Coco Brown, author and lifestyle diva, and I'm delighted to have with me Minister Carolyn Jones, who is an evangelist, author, public speaker, and travel professional. Could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hi, I am glad to be here. And as she said, I am an evangelist and all the other serial entrepreneurs things that were mentioned, I believe, in multiple streams of income. I am a mother of 3 and 1 fur baby, and currently love helping people set up new companies and supporting small businesses with administrative functions.
Oh wow, that's awesome. So, the theme of the show is thinking back to your 5-year-old self. So tell me a little bit about how you were at 5 or as far back as you can remember.
Well, it's interesting. At 5, I remember being in a 2-parent household, single home in Baltimore City. I remember running, playing, just doing fun stuff with my siblings. And that's about it. Most of the memorable things that happened weren't with me. They were more so with my siblings. But that's what I remember as 5, thinking that the world was just this wonderful, playful place.
Okay, that's nice. And where was that? Was that here in Maryland?
Yes, it was in Baltimore City. I even remember the address, 4021 Bateman Avenue.
I don't have them go looking for you there.
Oh, they won't find me. Believe me, that was many, many years ago.
Oh, wow. Okay. So how far back can you remember thinking of what you wanted to be when you grew up? Was it like 10, 12? What age
Probably, I remember 9, 10, watching my cousins in Turner Station writing the lyrics of songs in shorthand. And I wanted to be a secretary because most of my, air quotes, big cousins, they're not bigger than me now, but were in the administrative professional field. Okay. Of course, back then it was called secretary, but that watching them kind of patterned me for wanting to be in the administrative professional field.
Okay. And so besides that, what other creative things did you do? Were you did you sing? Did you play an instrument? Did you play a sport?
Definitely did not sing. The world was not ready for that.
Okay.
I played lots of sports. I was a cheerleader. I played softball. I was a cheerleader as a little child. And I then was a cheerleader also in high school. Ran track, played softball. Softball was my favorite.
Okay.
And I also wrote poetry and loved to draw because I wasn't the most well-behaved child. So I stayed punished a lot, and that's what I did. I wrote poetry and I drew pictures.
Oh, okay. Okay,
Yeah.
well, we have that in common, not behaving. Yeah. But okay, so you mentioned a lot of talents that you have and a lot of areas of expertise you have. You're a minister, you're an author. What led you down the path of accepting the call to be a minister, to evangelize?
It wasn't easy. I just realized even in days when I didn't have the educational knowledge, so to speak, the biblical knowledge of God, I always loved whoever this God being was. And so being raised by my dad, my father was the single parent of me because, as I mentioned earlier, not being the most well-behaved child, my father eventually took custody of me and raised me and my younger sister. And so he was into academia, but he also loved Jesus. So he brought us up as Catholics. And in Catholics, we were taught to listen and not ask questions. But I always had this zeal to want to know more about this super being, this God, this Jesus. And I also felt that if I knew more, I could help people through situations that seemed humanly impossible to get through. Because I myself, being the incorrigible child, brought a lot of things on myself that I had to get through. And so I cling to the little I knew about God. And then when I was of age to be able to study myself, I did like intensive self-study.
Mm.
At that point, I knew there was a call on my life, but I didn't know what that was. I didn't know what a call was because I was never raised that I could be a minister. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So, but I knew I was supposed to do more than what I was doing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so when did you convert from Catholicism?
After my father passed.
Okay.
I wouldn't have dared done it.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
I wouldn't have dared done it. I was 30. I was 33.
Okay.
And I was 33 when my father passed. So I think I need to correct that. It probably was before he passed, but he didn't know.
Okay.
Because I do remember I signed up for different Bible institutes just to learn, and then I read the Bible cover to cover and read a different version cover to cover, just to learn more so that I can answer people with Bible versus my own stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So around 33. So then, when did you decide to, or when did you start to embrace being an entrepreneur?
I've been an entrepreneur since I can remember. When I was little, I used to braid children's hair in the neighborhood, and make money off of that. I used to create greeting cards as a child for people who had special occasions coming up. I would make a greeting card and write the poetry based on what they would tell me about their loved one.
Wow.
I used to watch children. I've always had an entrepreneur spirit.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So you had that spirit for a long time. So when did you put that into like a formal type of, like when did you start writing and decide to publish a book?
So I had some friends that were I've always been an entrepreneur and made money, but I lowballed, or I would do stuff for free. And onlookers would see that and say, you should start your own business and you should start charging. And I always had this sense of guilt, like people can't pay. And then you hear people can pay for whatever they want. So I actually had 2 business coaches that were husband and wife, who were good friends of mine from church. And they just coached me, state your price with your chest and have a structured layout. As far as writing a book, I've always been a writer. I used to write crazy letters when I was a child. I used to just write everything. And so reading past even social media posts and things, I wanted to put it in a book because, and I don't know how this is going to sound, but a lot of people look at me and think I've had this sweet life all my life, and it's been totally the opposite. So I felt like if I wrote a book about things that I've been through and entitled it Speaking From Me, and me stands from my experiences, that's my tagline, because of a lot of experience that I had, women look at me like they don't think that they can get from where they are to where I seem to be. And let me make that clear. Because I don't look like what I've been through.
Right.
However, I knew that we're so much more alike than we are different. And I think in our culture, African American culture, if we realized that, we would be kinder to one another.
Yeah.
So I had certain situations where a woman would approach me and say words like, I don't know why I was led to talk to you. I know you probably can't relate to this, but, and then I could tell my story that I did go through that, and this is where I am.
Yes. Okay. Okay, so now we looked at you being an evangelist and an author and an editor also, right?
Yes.
And a travel professional.
Yes.
Now, how did that come into play? And if I'm skipping something, add it. Because I know there's a large span of your career that I'm not sure how you would speak to it, or if you just prefer to move on to the travel professional. It's up to you.
Well, I'm extremely transparent. I have been a senior executive assistant for most of my working career for corporate America. Most was spent in government consulting arena, and I loved it but I started getting burned out, and I started realizing that I was losing so much of me catering to other people. And so I decided to leave corporate America, but the admin in me is still there. So my company is CSJ Consulting, CSJ being my initials, and I'm still in the business of doing administrative professional work for small businesses, especially small businesses starting up. The travel professional came in, my daughter passed away, and I always wanted to travel but never traveled. And so there was a coach that just very patiently every year would just say, hey, you know, thought anything about coming into the travel business? And after Tracy passed, I said the best way to travel is as a merchant more so than a consumer. Right. And so I dove into that and became a travel professional in 2017. Okay. Again, all of my entrepreneur ventures were in addition to my full-time 9-to-5. Right. And then I realized that I had enough supply and enough good sense that I quit my job and decided to go full-time entrepreneur. And even my faith friends thought I was a little crazy. But I have not looked back. I have no regrets.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I asked you about your 5-year-old self. How do you think that younger you is displayed now as an adult? Like, what qualities, what characteristics, what traits are you most known for that you could say, oh, I remember being told that when I was 10, when I was 15, you know?
I have always been a jumper. I just jump into stuff. I've always been a protector. I've always been bold. I've always been like, I never would consider the consequences and repercussions, because I always knew whatever was broke could be fixed. And then I always knew if I died, I went to heaven. So it was a win-win. It was a win-win. And so how I have honed 5-year-old growing up little Sharon. Sharon is my alter ego name. A quick story, you know, my name used to be Sharon, just Sharon. I didn't have a first and middle name. Right. One Christmas I got a doll. Her name was Carolyn. And if you hold Carolyn's hand, it was like she was my height. You hold her hand and leg go out. So it's like, hold my hand and I'll walk with you. Okay. And so in the 2nd grade, I decided to change my name to Carolyn, because you never knew that story? No. Oh yeah, my name was Sharon. And I changed my name to Carolyn because I stayed in trouble so much. And when my parents would say my name when they were mad, it just sounded so harsh. And so I was in the mirror one day and I was trying to fuss at my doll, Carolyn, but I couldn't say Carolyn in a mean way. And so I said, I want my name to be Carolyn. Oh, wow. And so, and then the whole theory behind hold my hand and I'll walk with you. I was so mean that nobody wanted to hold my hand. And I just wanted to be like my doll, baby. I wanted people to hold my hand and walk with me. And so, 2nd grade, I wouldn't answer to anything except Carolyn. So of course I got in trouble, kept getting sent to the coat room. I mean, to the coat room. Yeah, y'all don't know nothing about the coat room. with the heater in the coat room. And so my dad actually went to City Hall and changed my name to Carolyn so I could stop getting in trouble.
Wow.
And so
at what age did he?
I was in the 2nd grade. I remember my teacher used to call me in the coat room and say, your name is Sharon. And I said, my name is Carolyn. And I'm not answering to that name anymore.
And your dad changed it in the 2nd grade?
My dad went to City Hall and changed my name. But the funny thing was, he was supposed to make Carolyn my middle name. But when the paperwork came with the new birth certificate, it had Carolyn first.
And Sharon.
So I got my way. Okay. So as far as little Sharon growing up to the mature Carolyn, I still have the same tenacity. I still have the same jump. I heard the phrase with a new business partner lately. He said, jump out of the plane and build the parachute on your way down. And so, I, you know, even though I think about that, and now, you know, with maturity and my age, it's like, no, we're building the parachute and testing it before we jump out of planes. But I still have that tenacity. I protect anybody and anything that I love and that loves me. I'm still bold. I still believe that no is an answer that incompetent people give me. So if you tell me no, you probably are not able to tell me yes. So I want to speak to somebody else.
Oh, yes. Yes.
So, yeah, that's
a good philosophy.
Yeah, the maturity knows how to hone that personality, but the personality really has not changed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so am I forgetting something? Let me think about it for a minute, because you have spoken at a lot of events. So how did you approach public speaking? Because obviously you say you're bold and you don't take no for an answer. So does that kind of feed into you being able to just speak to, groups of women, groups of people in general with ease?
No, it wasn't always with these. I actually joined Toastmasters.
Oh,
I joined Toastmasters.
Wow.
Yeah, because I always felt like I had something to say. Okay. And it was usually private. Like somebody would call me, my friends, I used to always say that I had a priest collar on. I would get called for advice. I would get called when people wanted to get out of situations. Yes. And I can do one-on-one, but in front of, thinking about being in front of an audience made me so nervous. So I took Toastmasters. Okay. And I took it for quite a while before I even tried to speak in front of, because I was asked to speak often before I jumped.
Wow.
Yeah, okay. Because I never wanted to freeze in front of people, because you do that and you don't look confident in what you're speaking about.
Right.
But once I started, it was just like a snowball. Like, oh my God, you've got to get her to speak. And yes. So that's how that was.
Okay. Wow. Yeah. Okay. And see, that's the thing that I thought I knew about you, that like you would easily get up in front of people and tell them whatever it is you had to teach them about, and then just walk off the stage and have a cup of tea or whatever your thing is. Even now, any type of speaking that I do in front of a group, I have a sense of nervousness, because I want to come correct whenever I'm trying to impact somebody's life. Mm-hmm. And I can be pretty flippant, a comedian, and I want to make sure that nothing flip comes out, because if I lose one, as far as I'm concerned, I've lost the whole crowd. Right.
And so I only had, maybe one or two situations where someone came up to me afterwards because I said something that offended them, mm-hmm. and I was able to one-on-one clear it up. Okay. And win favor with them. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Wow. All right. So, what's non-celebrity? Because people always ask about celebrities. What non-celebrity do you consider somebody worth modeling, or just getting any kind of business tips, life mm-hmm. tips? Who would you say that person is?
You want me to say a name, or you want me to just describe the person?
Well, it could be a name,
okay.
A non-celebrity entrepreneur, or
so I have a friend named Freddie Cunningham, and she seems to always have the calm approach and ask the right questions, and she is my go-to. Now we laugh a lot. I don't just go to her to whine or complain, but she is, as far as a businesswoman, she is, without saying perfect, I'm gonna say perfect. Mm-hmm. She knows her business. She knows she studies, always studying to keep herself fresh in her business. She's actually mm-hmm. HR. She owns her own HR company. Yes. HR in Motion for the plug.
There you go. Yes.
Yeah. So, and she has always been a Christian-oriented mentor to me. Mm-hmm. She can always, ground me. I have different people for different things. So I have Madeline Berry is in Las Vegas, mm-hmm. and Madeline is the person who taught me that I was far better than I ever thought I was. So she led me to different women's conferences and things, mm-hmm. and she is like the deep and spiritual one. Mm-hmm. And then there's Regina, who I have a very tight knit sister Regina was a colleague. She actually hired me. She started me out in government consulting business, and she hired me for a major government consulting business, and we became friends. And Regina will get mad if I'm mad. You know, she'll give me that fire I need. Like, they have a right to do that. But then she'll say, okay. So now what are we doing?
Yes.
That's a friend that's like, you know, I don't need you to ask any questions. We got to go take care of some people. And she might say, okay, so whose car are we taking? You ever see that clip?
Yes.
Yeah. So, and then, you know, the ultimate is Arissa.
Yes.
You know, Arissa has been calling me auntie since the day we met.
Yes.
And the community that she has put me in. We don't even remember. We think we met when she was a baby and somebody said, you got a new niece. I'm not even kidding. But Arissa provided a community for me that I've never experienced before in this heart. And when I tell them that, they just look at me like, auntie, you're our person. You know, you fix things, you do things. But I do that in every environment, you know, so I'm not going to ever bring the lesser of my A game. I'm just going to leave rather than do that. Mm-hmm. But we're building together and growing together and ministering together and laughing together. And I'm auntie, so, you know, there are times when I pull rank and she backs off, you know, like, okay, this is auntie, I don't want no smoke kind of thing.
Yes.
And she's put me in a community where all of these adults are calling me auntie.
People your age calling you auntie.
Exactly. I'm looking like, who's scared of you? When did you become my nephew?
Right.
But it's also a very protective community. Mm-hmm. And they don't play about me. That's just something, you know, I mean, I'd hate to leave anybody out. You know, I have an adult goddaughter that became my goddaughter. We're looking like, when did I become your godmother? So I'm her godmother, and her children call me, I'm their grandmother, and it's just, I have different people because I'm such a complex person. I'm not hard, but I am complex. Yes. I don't think any one person could serve the areas that I need mentoring in. And so I'm very careful in allowing people in that space. Everyone has a vulnerable space that I allow them in. Mm-hmm. And so I hope all that made sense.
That makes sense, because you have somebody that you mentioned, Minister Freddie, but you also have a community. So it's important that you speak to all of those people, and I'm sure you forgot some, but you know, I did. You have a tight
Charge
community.
My head, not my heart, if you think your name should be mentioned.
Yes, but you have a tight community that surrounds you. I do. God's favor.
I need that because I'm all over the place, and I'm in different environments, and then if I'm in an environment, I'm looking to do my best and be my best, and not everybody has my back. And so sometimes I don't see things because I don't want to.
Right.
But those folk, if they see it, they're going to address it, and they probably won't even bring it to my attention.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Okay. So we spoke to your favorite. Did we speak to your favorite thing? Your favorite book? Your favorite podcast? Your favorite? What would your favorite thing be described as? Because it may not be one of those things I mentioned. What's your favorite thing?
I don't know. That's my favorite thing.
Is it salsa dancing? Oh, there you go. See? It's dancing. Some type of dancing.
Love line dancing.
Okay.
I do. Don't get to do it nearly as much as I would like. But I can watch reels of people line dancing, especially the new line dancers coming out now, and they're using a fan.
Oh,
I'm gonna get that.
Okay.
I love line dancing.
Okay,
that's my favorite, and I love Zumba. I love dance fitness. I love Zumba with Nefertiti.
Yes,
and Zumba with Dana. Dana's my goddaughter that I talked about.
Okay,
so I love Zumba. So because those things like create endorphins that just I can laugh or think about it later and it can, the endorphins will come back up.
Yeah, that's a great feeling.
Yeah.
So we're in the month of December. Tell me, what's your favorite holiday memory?
My favorite holiday memory, I remember my mother, there was 6 of us, and I don't know what we did, but we were so bad one year. None of us were good. Not one of the 6 of us were good. So we all came downstairs Christmas morning, and there was nothing. There was nothing down, and we're looking at each other.
Oh, she hid the stuff.
We're looking at each other like, what are we supposed to do? Like, we're kids, it's Christmas, we come downstairs. And then Mommy comes down the steps with all the gifts and all the bags, and she said, and she's not saying anything because she's probably like done with us. But it was so, from the low to that high, that was like the best Christmas ever, because we didn't think we were getting anything.
Right.
And then we got we all got everything that, I don't know if she bought us a gift every time she got mad or what, but we got so much stuff that year. And then we were just laughing and talking, and we all ran and hugged her, and so.
That's good.
Yeah, that was a pretty exciting Christmas.
That. That's cool.
That was a pretty exciting Christmas.
That's a beautiful memory.
Yeah. As a child, as an adult, I worked one year at Toys R Us, and that was the year the Cabbage Patches were so hard to get. And of course, I had a little boy and a little girl. I just had Tracy and Gerard at the time, and they both wanted Cabbage Patches. And I remember in Toys R Us, this box came in and it was not marked, and we're working and we're tired and we're putting stuff up, and it had I think it had 30 Cabbage Patch dolls. And so I got 2 boys and 2 girls, and I hid them, and I got them for my kids. Don't judge me. I got them for my
employee privilege.
I know, right? Exactly. And so I put away, and I got them for them. And that was the only thing that they got a lot of stuff that year, because every time I got my paycheck, I worked specifically to make them have a good Christmas. And that was the only thing they really looked at was them Cabbage Patch. They were, especially Tracy, she was a little older. She said, I just can't believe. So it was just so cute. But that was my favorite Christmas with my children.
So to get exactly what you wanted, that's nice.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for joining me here today, and tell the people where they can find you.
So I am, CSJ Consulting. On social media, I just have my whole good government name, Carolyn Sharon, because some people know me as Sharon. And on Instagram, CSJ Consulting. My business email, if you want to talk about any types of administrative. I'm also a mobile notary. I'm also a travel professional, and I also sell travel agents. I think everybody that travels should be your own travel agent. And so that is CSJ Consulting 2017@gmail.com.
Okay, and your book can be found
nowhere. It's not out in publication. I wrote Speaking from Me, and then I wrote Walking in Value and Purpose in Spite of Me. So in spite of my experiences. Okay. And they're not in the market right now.
Okay. Yeah, okay, but people can follow you and they'll see what you're doing next.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
absolutely.
Thank you so much.
It's really been my pleasure.